Will Bryce Young prove he is the franchise quarterback for the Carolina Panthers? Will Baker Mayfield still be elite this year with another offensive coordinator in the mix? Will the Atlanta Falcons finally get over the hump and make the playoffs? And will the New Orleans Saints win a game this season? This is our NFC South preview and predictions video. Hit that subscribe button down below and we'll get right into it with our fourth place team. And for me, it is the New Orleans Saints. And yes, they do win a game, but I give them one win, which I don't know if that's harsh or what the case is, but I just think they're the worst team in the NFL this year.
I could agree with worst team in the NFL, but I did give them 3 wins, and I have them at a 3-14 record. I also obviously have my last place. Let's be honest. This team is finally going through the turnover. This team was so successful in the Drew Brees era, the late 2010s. You know, they were making the playoffs. They were pushing, for Super Bowls. And obviously, they couldn't get past the hump in the playoffs with Drew Brees.
Did get screwed over.
Did get screwed over, yeah, in the pass interference call. But here's the thing with the New Orleans Saints. All those things catch up to you. And with them being over the cap so many years, just trying to compete, hang in with the contenders those years, is going to come back to you. And right now, it's biting their ass because they have a quarterback question mark. Their main vets, their good players are old. They'll still be good, Cam Jordan, DeMario Davis, but they're old. And overall, they got to fill out this roster with some high-quality young stars, essentially.
For me, I look at the schedule, right? One win is harsh because, I could see them beat the Giants, but I favored the Giants because I think the Giants overall in our NFC East videos we talked about, I feel like they're still the better team. If I was going to pick, I needed to pick one team to be harsh with. This was that team. The first main concern, the quarterback position. We still don't know, as of this moment of recording, who's starting at quarterback. Is it Spencer Rattler or is it Tyler Shough? For the most part, I think right now ESPN has it as Spencer Rattler. But again, whoever it's going to be a very short leash. These guys might be, if Arch Manning declares or whoever else, whatever quarterback is going to be the top pick for this next year's draft, they're going to be the mix for it, right? So that, number one's a concern. O-line, I'm still kind of concerned with that. Chris Olave's injury status, right? Is he going to... Sorry, that is going to be an issue. The only bright spot on the offensive side, which I believe they should trade this guy during the year, is Alvin Kamara, who we obviously had a little bit of a disagreement with. Is he great now or is he good? We saw some of the comments in our running back tier list video as well. But at the end of the day, that's their only bright spot. And again, with him, the injury concerns are a thing. Age is a factor. Defensively, for me, I like the names, but they're just older now, right? Tyrann Mathieu retired. Maybe he knows something that we don't know about this team, right? Kellen Moore's a first-time head coach. I don't know how he is going to do. Julian Blackmon and Justin Reed are there to replace essentially Tyrann Mathieu. And then, everything you said about being Cam Jordan. I don't want to disrespect Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan is an elite NFL player. His career is elite for sure. So, at the end of the day, if I needed to pick someone to be harsh on, it's these guys. I'm giving them one win.
Injuries, like you said, are going to be a big factor. Alvin Kamara is not the only good piece on this offense. I'm going to correct you over there. Chris Olave is elite, right?
Yeah.
You made it sound like Alvin Kamara is the only guy there.
No.
Chris Olave is there for sure. Hopefully he doesn't get any injuries, especially concussions, because that's what he was dealing with last year. The question mark offensively is the quarterbacks. It's just simple as that. The biggest position is the question mark, and we don't know if those two guys are even legit. Right, Shough is already 26 and he's a rookie. Spencer Rattler had his chance last year, didn't play well. Let's see what he can do this year. Maybe a little bit more experience can help him. And then defensively, like you said, how much do their star players really have left in the tank? Because at the end of the day, even their signing in Justin Reed, he's up there in age. DeMario Davis I don't know how this guy's still playing one of the top linebackers in the NFL, but he's literally 30. I don't even know how old he is, 35. Cam Jordan, we already know, is over 35. So
36 or DeMario Davis.
Exactly.
Turning 36 DeMario Davis.
So pieces, like you said, the names are good, but they're old and they don't have enough young talent to figure it out because they're feeling the effects of their competitiveness in the early 2020s, the late 2010s, because that's when they went all in, over the cap, traded draft picks, and now they're feeling the effects because they don't have the high-quality young players like they do to fill out this roster and take over. Because right now it feels like this rebuild is going to take a few more years.
And hope Kellen Moore gets somewhat of a leash. We'll see how he does as a head coach, first-time head coach there as well. Number 3 team, for me, it is going to be the Carolina Panthers. I do believe, similar to the Giants, they're going to take a step forward. I don't know how big of a step that will be, but for me, I have them at 5 wins, so that gives them 5 and another 12 record.
I have the Carolina Panthers at number 3 as well with a 6-11 record. And the main point here, the first point should be, can Bryce Young take that jump? Can Bryce Young solidify himself as a starting quarterback and a franchise quarterback for the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, and listen, there were some bright spots last year. Chuba Hubbard, fellow Canadian, took a step forward as a running back position. They went out and drafted Teteroa McMillan. Last year their main guy was Adam Thielen, which is crazy to say how good he was. Xavier Legette was fine too.
Xavier Legette became the main guy near the end of the year.
But I'm just saying, now you get another stud who was supposed to be the best receiver in this class, and Tet McMillan, outside of Travis Hunter, and. And overall, let's see what the O-line does. Again, that's going to be the
O-line is not bad.
Yeah.
Moden is a vet. Robert Hunt is signed. I know he didn't play his best, but he has something in him. And let's see what Ike Ekwonu could do. I know he's struggled so far throughout his career, but if he, figures it out, and he could literally be the franchise left tackle.
Yeah.
And because obviously they picked him with, I believe, the 6th overall pick in his draft class. So overall, when you look at it, offensively, Canales have pieces to play with, and young pieces to play with too.
Canales showed last year that he is a good play caller. He always showed that in his time with Baker in Tampa as well. It's gonna be offensively. I think they'll be fine. They'll be fun. We'll see how that ends up being. It's just defensively, I still have a little bit of concern where I cannot give them a big jump to even pass the 2 other teams ahead of them and the overall NFC. But the NFC is a weaker conference compared to the AFC as well. So
when you're looking at this, and where the wins will come from. And if the Panthers do take that jump this year, because I have it written down, I believe it will be one more year for the Carolina Panthers, because I do believe that they are a couple of pieces away to really get into playoff contention. But where the wins will come from for every team in this division, but mostly the teams that are looking to catch up to Tampa Bay, because let's be honest, they are by far the best team in the division, is in division victories. Because let's be honest, they play the NFC West. You don't see many victories coming from there, with Arizona not taking a step forward. Seattle is still a good team. We'll see what Sam Darnold does there. And obviously, we know the Niners are going to bounce back. If McCaffrey is healthy, we already know that they are literally division contenders over there. And if Stafford's playing, we already know what the Rams are too. Yeah. So when you're looking at it, these division games for the NFC South, and honestly both South divisions, even the AFC, because they both suck so bad.
NFC is a terrible division.
You got to beat up on your divisions, because getting those tiebreakers and winning your division games are going to be so crucial, because that's where you have your best chances of victories. And that's where, if Carolina could do that this year and not get smoked by the Saints like they did in the beginning last year, and obviously they lost to Atlanta, they beat Atlanta once, and obviously losing to Tampa Bay, if they could figure that out and get some division wins, I could definitely see that jump up into playoff contention, playoff contention, as a lot of people might have them already there. But that's only going to happen because if they win their division games and have a positive division record in this season.
Listen, they're not going to be a pushover team.
No, they're definitely not a pushover team. A lot of teams
this year are not really considered pushover teams, I would say, right? Outside of the Saints for me. And who knows, I might look like an idiot come at the end of the season. But like I said, J.C. Horn defensively just needs to stay healthy. I think he is a pretty good corner. It's just Pat Surtain and that literally went to pick after, so that kind of looks bad on you guys there. I know you're really high on Trevon Moehrig.
I think he has good, obviously. I think he's a good player for the Raiders, or if the Raiders took him in the second round. The big piece, the big dog is Derek Brown.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
We already know that. So we'll see how much can he carry the load, because he is obviously one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. But before we move on to our number 2 pick, we would appreciate you guys smash the subscribe button, because this channel is all about the NFL. NFL season is almost here, and we are dropping content. We're going to finish up our division previews. We have 2 divisions left in the NFC. So make sure you guys hit the bell icon to get notified for those videos, because if we didn't talk about your favorite team, we're definitely going to talk about it soon as well. The comment of this video: what are your NFC South standings? Who's your 1, 2, 3, and 4? We'll appreciate you guys leave that in the comments, and we'll take a look at them and reply to them as well.
And for those of you guys that are listening on Spotify, as you guys know, we are officially on Spotify as well. So make sure you guys rate, review, and download the podcast there as well. And like you guys can head over to the YouTube and engage over there with the comments as well. But let's get to it. Number 2, I went a little bit bolder again this time. I went with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I agree with you that they are probably the best team in the division, but I'm going to say that the Atlanta Falcons in this case are going to finally take the step. But Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for me, an 8-9 record. It looks weird giving them a below 500 record, but then that being said, I'm going to give them a number 1 right now. Atlanta Falcons are also a 9-8 record. So it's not like, at one point I had both of them under 500, but I didn't want to do that, so I just gave the edge to the Falcons there. 8-9, no, I mean, the one concern I have is, again, Baker's going to have another offensive coordinator coming in this year. Chris Godwin's health, they already lost Jalen McMillan, I believe, to injury a little bit early in the year. During the preseason. Egbuka is going to be now wide receiver 2 to start the year, which I have no issues with because he is an elite wide receiver in this draft. It's just more of a gut thing. I'm just going with that. And that straight up with you. I don't know. Like, Todd Bowles is a weird coach to assess because you're in the worst division and you're winning the division because of that, but like you still have some question marks. And we'll see what the new OC does there as well. I expect Baker to be fine. I don't think Baker's going to be like, oh, I'm going to fall off a cliff again. But I'm just more positive on the Falcons, which is why I gave Tampa the second place nod.
Falcons are the number 2 team. Let's be real. The Falcons are the number 2 team. The only difference I have here and in years past is that I didn't make it. Usually it's close and they go down to the road, so I could agree with the 1 game difference you have. But I have the Falcons at 7-10. The reason why is because there's issues here with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 1 issue, quarterback.
Yeah, which fair.
Do I believe Michael Penix, will be good this year? I think so. I think Michael Penix will prove he's a future quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. And I think he will be the starting quarterback for the Falcons for many years to come. But that's not going to come without growing pains because this is his first full season. And he did look good in the 3 games he did play last year. I thought he played, decently well, which means that he could come in this season with some confidence. But they're going to be growing pains for this guy because this is essentially his rookie year. That's number 1. Number 2, I do not like their defensive line. I genuinely don't, man. Their pass rush and defensive line is literally non-existent. They tried getting Matthew Judon last year. That failed. Well, they did get Matthew Judon, but that experiment failed. The secondary is really good. Yeah. Terrell and Bates are leading that. Obviously, those are some studs. No issues with the secondary. But these guys can generate pressure, and that's defensively one of the most important things that's one of the most important things you gotta have as a playoff team or a playoff contending team or a team that's trying to get over the hump is having a pass rush. And I know they have Raheem Morris, and I know defensively they will outplay their expectations because of the coaching, and I trust him as a coach because he did the same thing with the LA Rams. I know he had Aaron Donald, but he played with good defenses, so I know he's gonna get this team playing better than what they are on paper. But the lack of pass rush is a huge concern.
They did go out and get James Pierce Jr. in a trade up, so we'll see how he is as a young
But that's
guy.
a lot of pressure on a rookie.
Exactly,
right? Because you also traded away a first-round pick to trade up to a 25th pick.
So whereas he could have used that pick to maybe get, who knows what happened with Micah Parsons, but Trey Hendrickson as well.
Yeah, but when you look at it weapons-wise, Kyle Pitts is the issue. We all know that. Weapons are good with Bijan and Drake London, and even Darnell Mooney if he's healthy. I know he's listed as questionable right now. But if Pitts figures it out, this team could definitely go out. And if Pitts does figure it out, the question mark for Penix for me lowers just because we all know how much a tight end can affect the quarterback because that tight end is essentially the safety blanket for the quarterback in the passing game. But again, Drake London, breakthrough year last year. Bijan, breakthrough year last year. So those I'm set on. But Pitts needs to really step up his game if he wants to help out Penix as much as possible. And also, there's no Arthur Smith, I know. So the good news is that when in doubt, they should be able to give the ball to Bijan Robinson as well.
So number 1 for me, like I said, it is the Atlanta Falcons at 9-8. I just gave them I just want to be let's just say this. I think they are talented enough to finally win the division. I'm going to bank it on that it's going to be this year. Offensively, like you said, I felt listen, everybody in the first round of that draft class was pretty good. At the minimum good, right? I feel like Michael Penix will be on that track. Your Kyle Pitts point, 100% agree. From what I saw the early parts of training camp, he was the favorite target. It looked like he's gonna hopefully resurge himself. We'll see that ends up happening. If that ends up happening, oh yeah, this is gonna be a fun offense, right? Not even just Bijan, Tyler Algier is a really good running back too. You already said Mooney, as long as he's healthy, he's a really good wide receiver to complement Drake London. And then if Kyle Pitts gets going, we know what the answer is. This is pretty much Kyle Pitts' prove-it year. If not, he's off to a new team next year and not going to get the big contract as well. He was the original Brock Bowers hype, right?
Yeah, 100%. But another concern is not just the D-line. I feel like the trenches in general. I know they have Lidstrom. I know they have Jake Matthews. They lost Dahlman. So I'm not sure how the other pieces of the Atlanta Falcons O-line is really going to hold up. If they do, then obviously this offense should be, as long as Penix plays like the Penix we know, should be one of the leader offenses in the NFC, and definitely could be one of the best offenses in the NFC South.
Overall,
sure.
overall
defense is still a massive concern for me.
It is a pass rush. It is a big portion of the game. I get that, but I'm just gonna bank on some people taking a step forward. I'm gonna bank on Raheem Morris figuring out his way as his second full season with this particular team as a head coach.
But let's be honest, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And I don't disagree with what you're saying.
The Buccaneers are the best team in the division. I have them as a 10-7 record, winning the NFC South. Here's the reason why. Number one, they have the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Baker Mayfield has been a really good quarterback the last few years and has been very good for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as long as he had Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey on. As a wide receiver group, obviously when healthy, I'm taking these guys any day of the week, right? Because I know Godwin's coming back mid-season. Agbuka is looking good. And we all know what Mike Evans is Mr. 1,000 receiving yards every single year of his career. Running game, Bucky Irving, paired up with Rashad White. Even Sean Tucker had some big explosive runs last year. The backfield is really good. Tristan Wirfs, I know he's injured right now, but he should be ready for week 1.
October.
I swear I just read it.
I'm pulling it up right now. He is expected to start the regular season on the roster, similar to his Chris Godwin.
Okay, so that's
he's likely to practice, but likely won't be returning until October.
So I read the first
according
part.
to Adam Schefter. Yeah.
This is why you read everything about the report.
Yeah.
Not just the first line and get it done.
So that is a concern.
That is a concern, yeah. So O-line is a concern.
But that's where I on my schedule I had them as more of my losses were there.
Yeah, for sure. I even personally had, because their schedule is a little bit tougher to start off the year.
Yeah.
It definitely is. So I have a massive win streak for the Buccaneers into the mid to late season of the season. But defensively, you have Winfield, you have Vita Vea, you have some good young pieces in Yaya Diaby, and I believe Joe Chayanka. There's one more guy I'm missing that I really want to say. I genuinely forgot his name. Isn't the pass rush.
I mean, they added Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick. Who knows if he needs to resurge himself too, right? Because we know what Hassan Reddick was in the past as well. So if they get that Hassan Reddick too, Todd Bowles, we know defensively this guy is a good mastermind. Obviously, as a head coach, I do have question marks, but as a defensive mind, there's no questions for me there. Defensively, they'll hang in there. They should be fine. Offensively, right now it's an offensive line, but when they get worse back, they will be fine. Overall, Baker has done it all throughout his career, figuring out playing with new coaches. He's going to do it once again, and he has the weapons and the backs to figure it out. And Cade Otton last year had a good year as a tight end. Let's see if he can continue that as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything you said. I just went more of a gut feeling type of vibe. Sometimes you got to use that in these predictions where I'm like, Atlanta will finally figure it out this year. We'll see, right? Obviously, I know a lot of people watching are going to agree with you in that case, and I frankly do agree with you as well to a certain degree, but we'll see how it ends up shaping up. This is the worst division in the NFL, so it's kind of tough to gauge certain things. Within the division, you could see certain things be weird, especially with the Atlanta Falcons history about losing random games that they shouldn't be losing, but then they are part of very good games, like that Eagles game from last year, etc. But that pretty much wraps it up for us. That's our overall predictions. For me, once again, very quickly, both of us had 4th place Saints. Used to saying Panthers a lot. 3rd place is the Panthers. 2nd place for me is the Bucs. For you, it's the Falcons. And number 1 for you was the Bucs, and for me, it was the Falcons. But comment down below what you guys think. As Jovan mentioned earlier, hit that subscribe button. We're dropping a lot of content. So that pretty much wraps it up for us. If you guys want to see our predictions and preview for the NFC East, that video is popping up on the screen. So you guys, we'll see you guys over there, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.